how Napoleon Hill wrote these 13 principles of Think and Grow Rich is because of Andre Carnegie, a Scottish person who came to America and built the most influential and wealthy of the world. From whom Andre Carnegie learned this? From Herbert Spencer. Herbert Spencer, the survival of the fittest theory came after Charles Darwin, but Herbert Spencer implemented it in a societal context, which means the poorest people used and eaten by the richest people. The richest used the poorest people.
Fermline, Scotland, where he grew up in terrible poverty. His mother sewed shoes around the clock, while his father produced cloth and weaved looms. However, when the Industrial Revolution came, his father's business collapsed, leaving him struggling to find work. Witnessing his father's suffering and desperation impacted Andrew deeply. In 1848, the Carnegie family set sail for America in pursuit of a brighter future. They sold everything they had, and with a borrowed sum of 20 pounds, they arrived in Pittsburgh, the center of manufacturing. However, the challenges they faced were far from over, and both of Andrew's parents struggled to secure employment. So, Andrew had to stop going to school and get a job to help support his family. Andrew's fortunes changed when he landed a job as a messenger boy at a local telegraph office. He memorized the faces of the people he delivered messages to and greeted them by name if he saw them outside of work. It was a great chance for Andrew to get to know the business people in the city. By the age of 17, he had perfected his telegraph skills and had become incredibly adept at hearing Morse code. Thomas Scott, the regional manager for the Pennsylvania Railroad Company, was so impressed by Andrew's skills that he hired him as his telegrapher and private secretary for just $35 a month. At the time, the Pennsylvania Railroad Company was the world's largest corporation, and for Andrew, it was the chance of a lifetime to learn how to run a successful business. Tom Scott quickly recognized Andrew's potential and mentored him like a second father. He guided him on how to invest in stocks and provided him with his first taste of capitalism. Through Scott's guidance, Carnegie gained valuable knowledge and experience, which would serve him well in his future endeavors. In 1865, Carnegie left the Pennsylvania Railroad Company to start his own company, the Telegraph Company of Pittsburgh. The company operated in the telegraph industry, providing telegraph communication services between Pittsburgh and other cities. Carnegie started the company with the help of his business partner, Jay Gould. The company was successful, and it provided the foundation for Carnegie's future business ventures in the steel industry. After a few years, Andrew sold his shares in the telegraph industry and began to look into other investments. He realized the steel industry was the future after he saw bridges built out of wood deteriorating and not holding up well. With this foresight, he invested in Keystone Bridge Works, which was a leading manufacturer of iron bridges at the time. After a short while, Keystone Bridge Works was changed to the Keystone Bridge Company, which specialized in the manufacturing and selling of iron and steel bridges, which were in high demand due to the rapid expansion of railroads and industrialization in the United States. The Keystone Bridge Company designed and built some of the most iconic bridges in America, including the Eads Bridge in St. Louis, Missouri, and the Brooklyn Bridge in New York City. These bridges were engineering marvels and helped to transform the way people traveled and moved goods across the country. Carnegie's brilliance didn't stop there. The Keystone Bridge Company did not only build bridges, but also owned its own iron mills, which provided the necessary materials for constructing the bridges. This gave Carnegie complete control over the entire process, ensuring that his company wouldn't be dependent on outside sources for materials. With his newfound success, the ambitious young man soon set his sights on New York City, the epicenter of American commerce, in a move to expand his empire. Carnegie thought he would find businessmen with similar ideas with whom he could work, but he was very disappointed. Instead, he found only corrupt and morally bankrupt individuals, whom he described as scoundrels. Nevertheless, Carnegie refused to let this disillusionment defeat him. He wrote a note to himself, vowing to retire in 2 years and dedicate his life to making the world a better place. However, As we know, this promise would go unfulfilled. In 1856, an English inventor and engineer named Henry Bessemer developed a revolutionary invention called the Bessemer converter that would change the game for Carnegie forever. Henry's invention, which was a pear-shaped furnace, allowed for the mass production of steel, something that had previously been thought impossible, thus transforming the steel industry. The invention allowed for the mass production of high-quality steel at a fraction of the cost of previous methods. Carnegie's use of the Bessemer converter shaped the modern world of steel production. The converter was used to build bridges, railroads, and skyscrapers, among other things. It was also used in the construction of ships and weapons, making it an essential material for military and naval applications. As the saying goes, with great success comes great responsibility. Carnegie began to be obsessed with increasing efficiency, always incorporating the latest technology and pushing his employees to their limits. His strict management style demanded that employees work 364 days a year, only taking the 4th of July off. The rise of technology was a double-edged sword for the titan of steel, Andrew Carnegie. On one hand, it offered
From these 13 principles, we will see around 5 of them for today. First one is desire. Desire in a sense means a burning desire, which is burning in our heart. Second one is faith. Having faith in ourselves is the most important. Third one is auto-suggestion. Fourth, specialized knowledge. Fifth is imagination. We will see in detail in the future.